Okay, today we're going to be moving into some more advanced things in InDesign. So you're going to open up the file called Art and Anime 2 Base. So it'll be in your Google Classroom. And this is what it should look like when you open it up. And this is pages 2 and 3. So if you go to the Pages tab, you want to be on pages 2 and 3. Alright, so what you see here is a basic magazine style layout. And as we talked about before, the boxes with the X's in it, those are photo boxes. So what we're going to be doing today is adding photos to these photo boxes. So you're also going to need to download the folder that's called InDesign Photos, which is also in your classroom exercise for lesson number 2. And we're going to be going back and forth between InDesign and Photoshop. So you need to have both Photoshop and InDesign open for this particular exercise. So I'm going to go ahead and full screen both of my applications. So let's go ahead and start. We're going to be starting in InDesign, and then we're going to be going back and forth between InDesign and Photoshop. Now, before we get started, let's talk about a few design principles when adding photos to a magazine style layout. And the first principle that we're going to talk about is bigger means more important. So the bigger the photo, the more important or better visually pleasing that photo should look. So you want to put your best pictures in your biggest boxes, because the whole point of having good pictures is to show them off. As the boxes get smaller, you can put lesser and lesser quality photos in those smaller and smaller boxes. Okay, so bigger pictures equal better pictures. The second thing is, let's talk about the fold here in the middle. You really want your pictures to face into the fold whenever possible. So that means pictures that go on the right hand side of the layout, over here where it says headline goes here, pictures on this side need to face the center, which means they're going to face left if possible. And the ones that are over here on the left hand page, they're going to face into the right hand side when possible. So I'll show you what I mean. Alright, so the first thing that we need to do, I'm going to start with the biggest picture because that should be my best picture. So I'm going to click on the box, and I'm going to come up here to the width and the height. And the width of this photo is 22 picas wide, 22.1.5. So I'm going to always round up, no matter even if that's a 0.00001, or no matter how many small numbers are over there. I'm always going to round up because I always want a bigger picture than what will fit in the box rather than a smaller picture. So I'm going to round that up to 23 picas wide by 32 picas in height. Okay, now since it's a 0, I don't have to round up. I could round up if I wanted to give myself a little wiggle room, but I'm not going to. Alright, so let's go over here to Photoshop. Well, actually, we're going to go to our folder next. Alright, so I want to pick, okay, where's the picture? On the left hand side. So I want somebody facing to the right or facing not to the left. So let's go back to our photos. So when I start looking at my photos and I want to find a picture that I really like, of all the ones facing to the right, I really like this one with the woman with the owl. One, it's a vertical picture. So what does vertical mean? It means tall. This is a horizontal picture. This is a vertical picture. The box is a vertical box. Don't try to put a horizontal or wide picture in a vertical or tall box, and vice versa. Don't try to put a tall picture in a wide box. It just doesn't work. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose this picture. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. All right, I'm going to go ahead and open. and it didn't open in Photoshop. So I'm going to go ahead and go to open with, or I'm just going to look at the number 55015. So just go straight to Photoshop, File, Open. I'm going to go to my desktop where this picture is in this InDesign Photos folder, and I'm going to go to 5015 and open it. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to be cropping this picture. I want to crop it to fit the box. One thing I want to do is get rid of distracting elements, anything that's not great about this picture. For example, down here in the bottom, I don't know if that's somebody's head or what, another bird in the shot. I'm really not sure. And it's just distracting from the picture. So I want to get my cropping tool, right? So I'm going to click on the cropping tool. And then up here in the top, I want to change this from a 16 by 9 to width by height by resolution. So width, my width was 23p or picas, right? All right. Okay, so after you pick your width times height times resolution, we're going to put in our width, which is 23 picas. You gotta spell out picas, or pica, right? And then 32 is the height, pica. Okay. And then the resolution we're gonna put in 300 pixels per inch, right? All right. So now what I want to do with my crop is this ratio of this box isn't going to change. So I can move it up and down to crop out elements that I want to get rid of. And I want to keep the owl, of course. And always be mindful of things like keeping some room above the head of your person or persons in your picture, and another thing called looking room. So we want to leave a little room in the direction in which she's looking. We don't want to do this, put all the room behind her, because that's just not important. We want to see what she's looking at, which in this case is the bird. All right, so once we have a crop that's pretty good, now we're going to go ahead and hit Enter on our keyboard, and we have cropped our picture. So now we can go ahead and hit Save As. We never want to destroy our original, because what if we decide we need to go back and crop it again? If we destroy it, then then it's messed up. I'm going to call this left page 1. All right, and I'm going to leave it a JPEG. JPEGs are perfectly fine. All right, save. Now let's also talk about making sure that the picture looks good. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and we're going to go up here and we're going to go to Image, Adjust, Levels. Okay. And I'm going to go through, we talked about this a long time ago, I'm going to go through the histogram, right? And I'm going to go start with blue. And I'm going to brighten up the blue on the left side a little bit. Just drag this slider in because there's no information here. Okay. And I'm going to go to green, maybe drag that in just a tiny bit. Red, looks fine. The whole RGB, there's a little bit of darkness in this picture, so I'm going to slide the middle or the highlights slider a little to the left. You see that it's going to brighten up my picture just a little bit. I don't want to brighten it too much, but I want to see some more of the detail in the darker areas of the photo. Okay? And then just click OK. And now that I've already saved it once, and I know this because this is leftpage1.jpg, now I can just hit Save. Alright, and I can exit out of that picture. I can go back to InDesign. And now in InDesign, I'm going to select this box again. I want to make sure I have the box that I want to put it in selected. And I'm going to go to File, Place. And I'm going to place that picture. Go to my desktop, InDesign Photos. And left page 1. Click and place it in the box. Okay. All right, so let's do one more, and then I'm gonna let you choose the rest of the photos on this design to place for yourself. Okay, so we're gonna do. I'm gonna do a horizontal picture, and I'm gonna do one from the right hand side of the layout. This one over here. So I'm gonna go back again. My width is 22, and my height is 12. I'll often write those down on a piece of paper because that way when I go over here to Photoshop and I'm going to open a picture, and I really like this jousting picture right here, so I'm going to choose that jousting picture, image of 001. Okay, and so let's go up here back to my cropping tool, and then so my width is 22 picas, and my height is 12 picas. It's still 300. It's going to be my pixels per inch. Alright, so remember I want to include as much of that horse as possible. So there we go. I'm going to try to get both horses in here. I have my headroom above, and there's nothing more. And always be careful not to do this. Okay, you see what happens when you drag it outside of the frame? That's never good. Okay, because I don't want that. I don't want this outside of the frame in my picture, because that's not a picture. That's just not a picture. So let's make sure we keep it inside of the frame of the photo at all times. Okay, if I'm happy with it, I'm going to hit enter, and I got to get crop. I'm going to save as. I'm going to call this one, of course, right page 1. Save. Okay. Now let's go back to InDesign. Click on our box, File, Place, and then right page 1, open. Okay, so for the rest of this assignment, I want you to place all of the rest of the pictures. There's actually more pictures than what will fit on the page. There are 10 photo boxes on the page, 5 on the left and 5 on the right. I believe that there are 12 or 11 pictures, 11 or 12 photos in the folder. So part of your job is to decide which 2 pictures are just not even good enough to put on this page. Okay? And we're not going to put graphics on the page yet or text, just the 10 photos. That is your assignment. Put all of the photos on here, then save as art and anime working or base and your name, and then upload that to the page, to the assignment.